Take number 3. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tito. This might be a 2-part video on TikTok and a 1-part video on YouTube. Just because TikTok has a 3-minute limitation, and I'm trying to make this video as short as possible. A lot of the plan discussions and things like that, you guys can check out my playlist on YouTube covering Google Fi and its changes from Project Fi to Google Fi and going forward. I think that takes up a lot of time on these videos, and I just really kind of want to get out what I'm going to say about Google Fi, aka Project Fi, aka Google Phone Service, aka Google MVNO service. MVNO standing for Mobile Virtual Network Operator, which means they don't have their own network. They have a license deal with T-Mobile and other carriers to use their network, as well as roaming agreements as well. Yes, for those people who don't know or like to argue on chat, Google Fi can roam on Verizon and AT&T's network. So let's kind of put that to bed. Difference is, what is the difference between that and the T-Mobile and US Cellular connections? Is that T-Mobile and US Cellular connections is always going to be primary for Google Fi customers to connect to. AT&T and Verizon is only going to be in roaming. So if you're in a rural area that absolutely has no T-Mobile towers and no US Cellular towers, but it has AT&T and Verizon, you'll be able to roam off of those towers. And you don't pay a roaming fee on your bill. So that's a big plus. There are 3 plans on Google Fi. There's a flex plan, which you guys, like I said, you can check out my past videos talking about the plans and such, and that breaks down everything. But there's a flex plan, which allows you to control your monthly spending on your phone bill. There's a simply unlimited and an unlimited plus, and those are self-explanatory. One is just basic unlimited talk, text, and data. The other one has some perks to it. On top of that, you have a plethora of features, like Google Fi does give you VPN with it. So there is a Google VPN that you can utilize if you want to encrypt your data connections so you're more secure. You can do that. And yeah, it works in 200 countries. So if you're a person who traveling the world, probably a better option for you. And even if you don't want to use this as your primary service provider, if you are going to travel outside of the United States, I would probably still recommend you getting Google Fi service just to use. A lot cheaper than what AT&T international rates cost and what Verizon's international rates cost. And it is still slightly cheaper than T-Mobile's international rates. Because if you were on the $70 unlimited plus plan, which gives you the ability to use the phone internationally, I believe the $60 one does too. You can't call internationally, like you can't call from the US internationally like you could on the $70 plan or on the flex plan. But you can use your phone when if you travel overseas and make phone calls, and you keep the same number. You don't get like an international number, and it just works. There's no special programming. The most you probably got to do when you get off the plane and you get your baggage from baggage claim and you're leaving the airport is just airplane mode it for 10 seconds and then turn it off and let it connect. And you're good. Google Fi service, like I said, not a lot of people know about it. They haven't really been advertising in its first couple of years when it was known as Project Fi. I see a lot of ads now on YouTube for it, but hey, it is what it is. And it's on my Pixel 5a. And the reason why I have it as my secondary line is because I call internationally to Thailand. I talk to my mom. I am using the flex plan, so my monthly bill is $25 a month. I absolutely use no data at all whatsoever, because on the flex plan, you pay $10 per gig of data that you use. You pay $20 a month for unlimited talk and text, and then $10 per gig. I use 0 gigs of data because I have my Metro by T-Mobile tablet SIM card in here, which is a physical SIM card, and that's where the data is being pulled from. I'm running my Pixel 5a in what's called DSDS mode, so it's dual SIM, dual standby. And so calls and texts are coming from the Google Fi number. Data is coming from the Metro tablet SIM card. And it's unlimited. It's deprioed after 35 gigs, but it's still unlimited data. It still stays high speed most of the time. And so, yeah, it's like the ultimate Google Fi unlimited plan. And on top of that, total together is $35 before taxes. So caveats to Google Fi is that in the unlimited plan, you're capped at 22 gigs. Once you reach 22 gigs, you're slowed down to 2G speeds, which is 128 kilobits per second per month. And that's good enough to go through Twitter, Facebook, but you're not streaming YouTube videos. You're not watching TikToks and stuff like that. And hopefully that is renegotiated with T-Mobile later on. As I heard, T-Mobile is going to be renegotiating its deals with the MVNO companies. So hopefully that changes and they bump it, or they change it to 22 gigs and then deprioed rather than throttled. Deprioritize means you're slowed down for the moment of congestion, and then your speeds return to normal when the congestion is over. I'd rather take that over throttle, which keeps you slow for the remainder of your 30-day bill cycle whenever you hit that 22 gigabyte cap. So that's one of the caveats to it. The the other one is that there is taxes and fees on top of the pricing. So taxes and fees are not included, like a lot of people would hope. So that's the only thing that's kind of a downside because, yeah, I mean, it's not going to be like a giant amount, but I mean, you know, when you're thinking I'm going to get the plan for $70 a month unlimited, you're thinking you're only going to pay 70 because a lot of companies like Boost Mobile, Metro, Cricket, they've all gone to taxes and fees included. So it's very rare that you hear about, I got the $70 unlimited plan, and then your bill comes in at $70 plus $7.28 for taxes and fees. And so you're paying $77.28. And you're like, what? That's probably the only caveat to Google Fi. And you know what? It's not for everybody. So if you're one to say like, oh my God, taxes and fees, man, that sucks. I'll just stay with Boost. Stay with Boost. No one's telling you have to go to Google Fi. Google Fi is for the users who travel the world and for those who want to control their bill. If you want to control your bill and keep it at a low price, maybe this month, but next month you have extra money, so you want to splurge a little bit, you can go on the Flex plan. Control how much data you use, yields the amount of what your bill is going to be at the end of the cycle. If you go travel the world, travel the world. Only thing about international that you must know is that in a 365-day calendar year, one of those days before that 365-day hits, you must ping off a U.S. mobile tower. So you have to come back to the U.S. with your phone and let it connect to either T-Mobile, U.S. Cellular's network, and just to show it's back in the U.S. If you keep the services outside of the U.S. for longer than one calendar year, they will disconnect your international services. That's how people can't just be like living in India and having a relative buy them a Google Fi SIM card and then send it to India for them to use. You'll get a year's worth out of it, and then it's just going to stop working unless you send your phone to a relative that's in the U.S. They power the phone on, it pings off a tower, they make a phone call, they make a text message, they power the phone back off and ship it back to you. That's probably the only way you're going to be able to use it internationally. All in all, in the years that I've been using Google Fi, it's really never really let me down as far as phone calls and texting. And I'm old school. That's majority of what I do on my phones with family and friends. So the data thing, it's not a real big deal. To me, if you have home Wi-Fi, you're good. That's the only time that I felt like it was a hindrance to me, was because at a certain time in my life, I didn't have home Wi-Fi in home. So using the data, I burned through it pretty quickly. All in all, if I was to rate Google Fi, I would give them basically 4 out of 5 stars. And that's just me. You don't have to agree with me, but definitely check it out. I will put a referral link code that gets you $20 if you guys want to try Google Fi. You'll get a $20 credit just for signing up using my referral code. That will be in the description. That's pretty much it for this video. So if you guys enjoyed it, thanks so much for watching it. This is probably the shortest I could make it. But I'm going to cut the video now. Thank you guys so much for checking it out. Really appreciate it. And yeah, see you on the next one. Because this week I'm going to be busy. Back to work I go. Peace.